This place has known magic. Very dark. Very powerful. This time, I cannot hope to destroy it alone.
We always like to say that every film is a standalone article. However, if you don't see this film, you're going to have problems with the seventh, because the seventh uses, a lot of the information plot that we use in the seventh is all set up in the sixth. That's in the sixth is very much, in some ways, it's a transitional film. It's getting from film 5 to film 7, getting all the information, but also there is a lot of emotion invested. It's not purely expositional. There is a lot of emotion in the film.
I kind of feel like I'm juggling 3 films at once, because we're promoting the sixth one, which is coming out now, and we're filming 7 Part 1 and we're preparing for 7 Part 2. So I feel like I'm I've got like 3 films on my head, but it's really good. Like I feel very, I'm not studying at the moment, so I feel very focused on like on it, which is like, it's really good.
It's kind of interesting for us because we're all a little bit older than the characters now, and so we are able to look with a slightly more objective eye can be cast over the teenage romance stuff, because we're all, like a lot of us now are in kind of quite serious relationships, or have been in relationships for a substantial amount of time. And so, yeah, for us to suddenly have to play all the young teenage love stuff is really, really quite good fun. I think certainly when from the ages like 14 to 17, 18, I'd grown up a lot faster than most other people my own age had, simply because I'd had to, from a younger age, I'd had to talk to adults in a different way. I'd had to, they weren't teachers, they weren't parents, they were co-workers. And so I suddenly had to, at the age of 11, kind of figure out how to talk to them. So even though I still had the mind of a child, I had the vocabulary and the mannerisms of a 40-year-old man. I suppose it kind of does help to go out with people who are also in the industry, because they sort of understand to a degree what in terms of the hours and in terms of, and that's why, because a lot's been made recently about me dating older women and things like that, which I have done and do and adore, and but what's kind of interesting about that, because people think it's just a thing that I have, but actually it was kind of just a matter of practicality, because women who are older than me when I was like 17, 18, they would have jobs normally, and so they would understand the idea of me having a job, whereas if I'm 16 going out with a 16-year-old, they can't quite grasp the fact that I work nights sometimes and I'm not always around and that kind of stuff. So it's just about finding somebody who understands the reality of the situation. Rupert Lee, he kissed Emma in that scene, and in the 7th film, which I imagine was quite odd, although I was desperate to be on set. But they knew, they so had predicted that I would be a nightmare if I was on set, and I would be giving Rupert and Emma nothing but grief if I was on set that day, that they actually sent me into the forest to film that day. They sent me about 30 miles away from the studios, so that I was just going to be nowhere near the studio. I was gutted.
Everyone wanted to come and watch it, and like Rupert and I were struggling so much with the pressure anyway, and especially if Dan had been there, it would have been too much, I think. He's a super nice guy, and I'm really happy for him that, he's gone on to be so uber successful. Yeah, it's really good. Honestly, I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's doing okay. It's got to be tough.
I think it's easier for boys than it is for girls. I think it's a lot easier. And the interest is less.
I think it's been tough, there being quite so much media interest, but to be honest, it's to be expected when, the Harry Potter films, I think, last year were officially, came out as the most successful film franchise of all time, so, I can't expect that I'll just be able to, there won't be a lot of interest, it's just kind of the way it is. I think because I'm a girl and, there's the whole fashion side of things and people are interested in what I wear, and I think just as a girl, you just get a lot more attention than you do as a guy. I'm not sure why, but you definitely do. I
don't want, people to think I'm some kind of recluse. There's certain things like whether I do or don't have a girlfriend is something I don't really talk about. I have kind of been recently. I do try and be as honest as I can in interviews about my own life, and I like to be open because, that's why you do interviews, because people are interested, and so what's the point of just trying to be a recluse?
Saying right straight, I just said that I wanted to be really picky about the parts that I chose to play. Like, I didn't want to just jump into anything. I wanted to be quite specific about what I decided to do. And also, you know, I've been working solidly since I was like 9 years old, and I want to have a bit of a break, and I want to go and study properly rather than try and do everything and not do anything properly, if that makes sense. So I'm going to see how it goes. You know, university, there are long holidays and stuff when I could easily schedule a film if I wanted to. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm reading a lot of scripts. I'm meeting a lot of different casting agents and just, you know, seeing how it goes. And if there's something I really want to do, then I'll definitely do it. But going to university doesn't mean that I'm giving up acting.